If you're watching this, you're probably enrolled in an accounting and finance degree, or you've just started a graduate scheme or an apprenticeship in a tax company somewhere around the world. Now, I want to tell you my story of how I went from studying accounting and finance and working in a tax company to actually starting my own online business in the hope of, inspiring some of you that are watching this video. And before I start with my story, you can very much quit your job and make money online in one of the thousands of ways that are available right now. You can do dropshipping, e-commerce, you can start your SMMA, your social media marketing agency, you can sell AI automations, you can make money in crypto. There's like thousands of ways you can make money online. I wanted to talk to you about the way I did it because I actually started my social media management agency and then, I didn't make it work. I didn't make any money. I enrolled into this accounting and finance course. I graduated. I then went to work at EY, one of the big four consulting firms. And I had quite a bit of knowledge, like you watching, if you've studied accounting and finance, if you're working at a tax company, now you probably know how a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement works. You probably know how they work. You probably know how to do a tax return. You've probably never done one yourself because they don't teach you the practical stuff, right? But you probably know, profit and loss. You probably know how to manage cash flow. You probably know about fixed assets and depreciation and all this stuff. And this stuff is actually valuable. The way I went about this was thinking, okay, what can I offer? Instead of going to the business model, like, hey, I can sell this, I can sell that. All of these are very saturated. Obviously you can make it work if you're good, if you study, if you're the best. You can make anything work, really. But I was thinking, what am I good at? What can people be interested in that I know how to do? And that's accounting, that's taxation. You're studying this as well, you know this. Obviously we think that everyone knows about profit and loss and accounting and depreciation. Not a lot of people do. If they don't study accounting, if they're not seasoned entrepreneurs. The way I kind of went about this was DMing all these people in my contact list and asking them if I could just help them with accounting. And that's how it started. And you're thinking, okay, but how do I make money online? Should I just be someone's accountant, right? Do I just do accounting for a couple companies? There's loads of accountants. And the truth is, yes, but that's not where you stop. What I'm trying to get across to you is that you can actually use this as your career development. So let me explain. When I went and started working at EY, one of the big four accounting firms, I wasn't really learning much. It was all right, being in this big environment where you had a lot of people and a lot of managers and directors, but I wasn't really learning a lot of stuff. Obviously in the workplace, what you're doing as a junior analyst, junior tax advisors, you're formatting stuff and doing some Excel stuff. One of the few things I learned at EY was about FATCA and CRS, right? Automatic exchange of information. If you're a UK tax resident and you have a bank account in France, France needs to report that information back to the UK, right? That's CRS, right, in a nutshell. And that's what I learned, right? But day to day, I was literally formatting documents, maybe attending the odd meeting with the client, but I was taking notes. You've got AI to do that stuff now, right? I was enrolled in the graduate scheme. I was doing the exams, but I wasn't learning the stuff that was really interesting to me, which was the international taxation. And maybe, I was in the wrong field. I was doing business operations and I wasn't in international taxation. But I started alongside working at EY and maybe learning one of the 8 hours that I was actually there. I started learning on my own and looking up this stuff and looking at the different structures around the world and the tax incentives and the permanent establishment rules and the CFC rules. And I was it's stuff that I was interested in. And you probably, if you're into accounting and finance, maybe hate it, right? I know people who are studying accounting and finance and now do completely different stuff. Fine. But maybe you kind of like it. Maybe you like maths, finance, but you also have this thing where you want to make money online and travel the world. And I just want to tell you how I did it. I was doing my own research and I found out I was learning more on my own than I was at the company. And that's crazy, right? You're in one of the best companies in the world, right, for accounting, and you're learning more on your own. There's something wrong there. Now, obviously the issue is you go out and you do it on your own, but tax is very delicate. Like if you mess up, your clients can end up in prison. Like it's just the way it is. Taxation, tax evasion, it's something that's taken very seriously, right? So we don't want that to happen. But what you can do is start small, right? Start with the UK accounting. Start with the little tax return, right? And then you can move up. Obviously, I went up to helping people who wanted to move to Thailand. And, from little tax returns in the UK, we started with like company structuring and offshore companies. Now, obviously, you need to know a lot more stuff like withholding tax. You need to know about permanent establishment rules, tax basis, what countries have territorial taxation and all this stuff. But it's stuff that you can kind of learn alongside your clients. And I know a lot of people will disagree with this because you're like, no, but you need to have the qualifications. A lot of people say this, especially like because, your stereotype of the accountant and the tax advisor is like this very old guy, checking all the documents with his, qualification and stuff. It's like, you don't need it, especially in the UK. In the UK, you actually do not need to be qualified to be an accountant or to give tax advice. It's like one of the few countries in the world that allow this, but like you don't need to be chartered to give tax advice, to be an accountant, right? Like if you want to give tax advice in the UK, you don't need the qualification. If you want to give tax advice somewhere else, like in Italy, you need an Italian tax advisor. So then literally the only important thing is like, how quick am I learning and am I having fun doing this, right? So going back to the point of you can learn on your own, obviously it's delicate, you don't want to mess up, but the most important thing is just transparent with your clients. Look, your first few clients will be your friends, okay? Like you'll reach out to your WhatsApp list, and a few of them will be starting the online business and you can do their accounting. But just be transparent. Tell them like, look, I know how to do this. I've studied it, but I've never done it before. Okay, I know the theory, I've never done it in practice. Can I do it with you? Like just be transparent, because then they can say like, hey, no, actually, I'd rather have someone who's like done it before. But at least you've been transparent. Like don't sell something you don't know how to do, because there's loads of people in the online space that are selling like some random shit like, oh, set up your company in Hong Kong, pay zero tax, when these people are still living in the UK, right, full time. That doesn't work. That's like tax evasion. They're just the scammers, effectively. I have a degree from a top university. I've had work experience in one of these big companies. Am I underqualified to give certain type of advice? Maybe, to some extent, to give some advice. Yeah, of course. But I'm always transparent about it. Like I'll tell people about my qualifications. I'll tell people about what I know, what I don't know, what I've done in practice and what I haven't done in practice. The thing with like taxes and accounting is there's a lot of trust involved. Like people need to trust you. People need to feel that you're a real person. I got most of my clients literally by word of mouth. Like 90% of the people I work with, word of mouth. I met my first few clients in person. Like it's all fun and games, the little online strategies, DM 100 people a day, post content, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, fine. But like, you need to trust your accountant. You need to trust your tax advisor. Human touch is the best thing that you can put on your conversations. And when you're talking about this, like, be honest, be transparent. And you can use your clients, like, as they grow, they will have different needs. And this is exactly where I'm going. Like, some of the people that I set up in Thailand, now they want to come back. They're like, actually, I feel like the UK is the place for me. I actually want to settle down here. Then I'm like, okay, fine. Luckily, I already knew how to do that, right? But someone else can go like, hey, now I want to move to Dubai. And that's what you need to learn. Okay, how do I set someone up in Dubai? I know in practice, everyone knows. You're watching this. Dubai has no taxes. They've just introduced a 9% corporation tax in Dubai, but personal income taxes, no personal income tax, there's no capital gains tax, no tax on crypto. Like, this, right? You're watching this, you're studying accounting, like, this, right? But in practice, like, how do you actually get someone residency in a place? How do you open a company? How do you get a tax certificate? So it's about catering to the needs of the people you're working with. What if they'll need a trust someday? I need to be able to learn and know how to do it. It's a different kind of business. You're not creating a model that's like scalable and repeatable, right? Which by all means you can, right? You can just say, okay, I'm going to set up people who want to live in Thailand. I'll just hit them up with the same exact structure, which again, it's very borderline because taxation, everyone has like different situations. If it's a different business, if you've got a different passport, different citizenship, like different employees, It's complicated, so it's very risky to just set everyone up on the same thing. But in general, for you, even for your professional development, you can literally study and learn at the same time as you're delivering your service, right? You can place someone here, like make sure it works, make sure you know it works, you know, do your research, do your due diligence, pay for some consultant to confirm this for you. So now you know it and you have your own like expertise and you're building your own expertise. And now you've placed them and that's a setup that works. And now once they want to change, now you kind of grow with them and you're like, okay, you want to do this? How do I do this? Let's find out. Let's talk to the guy who's done it before. And then you do it with them and now you know how to sell them and now you've got better and now you know that new skill. So basically you're slowly going up and growing with your clients and you're learning stuff. And it's not scamming them because you're telling them like, look, I've done my research. I know how it works. I've just never done it before. Do you want to work with me? Do you trust me? I'll do it for cheaper because obviously I've never done it before. I'm also gaining from this because I'm learning from this. And a lot of times, because you're putting that human touch, people will trust you. Like if people perceive that you're a genuine guy, they're going to want to work with you. And people make mistakes. It's going to happen, you know, someday, sometime in the future, you know, someone is going to get audited. Some of my clients are going to get audited, you know, like it's going to happen. There's always going to be like, the more money they make, the more red flags they're going to raise and people are going to want to look into it because obviously they want to get their money. Like it might happen that someone gets into, you know, litigation and then you have to go to court, like to decide taxes and stuff. Like it might happen. I hope it doesn't. I do all my best for it not to happen. You know, if you're my client, you're watching, like honestly, I'm doing my best. But the most important thing is that you're transparent. You're not scamming anyone. You're trying to do your best. I don't know, there'll be people watching saying, no, like you're too young. You can't do this. This can't work. You're putting your clients in danger, blah, blah, blah. I suggest you just decide to live a life that you actually enjoy. How was your last week? Did you enjoy spending time at work? Did you enjoy your colleagues? Did you enjoy going out for the beer after work? Honestly, I think it's a solid strategy. Don't jump the gun. Be very careful. Be very careful with who you take on, with the job you take on. Do not take on stuff that you don't know that you can actually fulfill on, because like it's easy to sell this stuff, but it's hard to fulfill. So like don't sell stuff that you know you're not going to be able to help them. Like if you're not sure you know how to help someone, like don't take them on as a client. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, drop me a DM on Instagram. It'll be in the description. And yeah, I really hope you know, some of you can break free from this cycle and this situation that you're in if you don't like it. See you. Have a good day.